Good news, everyone. We are about to embark on a dangerous conceptual mission far from reality, with a slim chance of getting back as the genius had it. So, sit down, buckle up, and follow through the intricacies of the logical space of reasons. Fundamentally, the subject at hand is belief. Unfortunately, that of belief is a rather muddled concept in ordinary thought and language that requires preliminary polishing to get into focus. What we are effectively going to do is to distill two radically different senses and ultimately see how they fare in relation to science.
Hooray!
Our first step consists in seeing belief as a composite mental state that can be broken down in two main aspects, namely a mental act and a possibly non-mental object. This model is not specific to belief, but it generalizes to other mental states. Take, for example, love and hate, that are mental states that can be cut along the same joint. Whom or what you love or hate is the object, and the loving and hating themselves are the acts that have them as objects. Coming to the mental state of belief, this applies quite naturally, but an ulterior distinction is necessary to make our analysis work. We are lucky enough that this separation is marked in ordinary language by two grammatical particles. We say, "I believe that such and such," but we also say, "I believe in this and that." Let's explore in this order the significance of this apparently superficial difference. The first notion of belief is strictly linked to the notions of truth and falsity. More specifically, its object is truth evaluable, meaning that it can be judged as true or false. Let's call this truth evaluable object a proposition. The corresponding mental act of this form of belief is holding as true. Act and object clearly match, because to hold something as true, it must be at least possibly true, namely truth evaluable. We all hold many propositions to be true. A subject, just by walking, holds it at least implicitly to be true that the ground will sustain its body weight. Most of our beliefs are in this distilled sense, trivial and uninteresting, like the one just mentioned. Belief in is quite another story. The corresponding mental act is more like trust. Its object has less to do with truth and more with people. For example, you believe in yourself, you believe in God, you believe in a friend. It doesn't make much literal sense to say that you, God, or friends are true. You can say that they are genuine, real, honest, and truth-sayers, but truth in itself is a property of propositions that you believe. Trust is not intrinsically related to evidence and reasons. It is less appropriate to ask someone why they believe in themselves than ask them why they believe some theory. In the former case, it would amount to sarcastic doubts more than being a genuine question. In theoretical settings, asking and giving reasons is of the essence. Of course, the demarcations drawn so far are somewhat artificial, and domain cross-contaminations occur. I would like you to bear in mind that this is a regimentation of ordinary language that is not meant to stay completely loyal to it. If we want to see things clearly and hold the truth firmly, we must sacrifice some blurry, original, ungraspable particularities. Coming to the main event, science and the belief in it. I will argue that by its very nature, science repels believing in it. Propositional belief, aiming at truth, is the only acceptable state of mind belonging to it. But words are misleading. Science is a simple word that projects onto the world a single, unitary thing that you can idolize, be a follower of, priest, or representative. There are none of such things. We only have a complex host of phenomena that go under a single umbrella, catch-all term. One component that falls under it is the human element. Science involves people who engage in a number of different activities: observation, calculation, experimentation, thinking, writing papers, and giving talks. Each scientific discipline has its peculiarities, and each scientist is an individual with own idiosyncrasies. Some scientists are better than others, but none of them is a representative of the whole. The failures of the former cast no doubts on the legitimacy of the latter. The other fundamental component is the purely theoretical one. Theories are the end products of those people and institutions. Scientific theories are coherent sets of propositions expressed through language in an attempt to convey truths that explain and predict relevant phenomena. A successful theory survives the theorizer and stands its ground not because of a strong personality or powerful institution who defends it, but rather by the strength of the evidence supporting it that is accessible to all. Now that all the pieces of the puzzle are on the table, it should be obvious how they fit together. One could believe in science as people and institutions. You can believe in all kinds of people, for all kinds of reasons or lack thereof. Belief in has not much to do with truth and evidence. The people in science are not only fallible, but fail all the time. The point of it all is that it is not about them as it is not about a fixed theory. The only pertinent questions are, is this or that proposition true? What evidence do we have to support it? It is about believing that some propositions are true in virtue of the best evidence. Science is not a system that you have to buy wholesale. It is a collaborative, piecewise effort that aims at the understanding of reality as humanly attainable.